the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Shanika Grimshaw. And let's take a live look outside. It is Monday and it's the first day of fall. Today marks the fall equinox, meaning both eastern and western hemispheres get equal amounts of sunlight today. And starting tomorrow, where the western hemisphere will see diminished sunlight until the winter solstice on December 21st. All right, yes, it's the first day of fall, and it actually feels like it, especially this morning. I mean, even when I stepped out of the door, I'd say after the morning show, it was around, I'd say 10, and it was a bit chilly. I needed a jacket. I know it was probably not cool for you.
It depends on your personal preference, 100% Shanika, but I will say, I mean, as we moved into this first day of fall, we ended summer on a much cloudier note to wrap up the weekend as well. Sunday featured a lot of clouds across portions of the viewing area. Now, as we get into the day today, the theme is going to be a little bit more sunshine filling in out there, but we still do have this wave of clouds locked in, keeping things overcast along the spine of the Blue Ridge up through northern Virginia and then back into north central Maryland. But bookending that to the west and the east, we are seeing a very sharp cutoff to sunny skies right around DC into southern Maryland and then back out toward the mountains of West Virginia and western Maryland. So as we move forward here this afternoon, we are expecting to see a little bit more of that sunshine, and that is going to have a net result, a positive result with our temperatures. It was a little cooler throughout the day yesterday. We're still in the upper 60s, lower 70s, and parts of the area seeing cloud cover. But look at Kaiser, 78, DC, 74. We're warming up where that sunshine is already out and about. So expect warmer temperatures before the afternoon is done. Most of the area, especially where that sun is, should hit the lower 80s. Now, those of us that see a few more clouds will stay cooler, but this added cloud cover, it is a sign of what is to come this week, folks. More clouds, more rainfall likely on tap. We'll break down what days this week could be soggier for you and when you may need that umbrella. That's coming up in your full forecast here in just a bit.
All right, sounds good. Damon, thank you. And new this afternoon in Virginia, the power has been restored in Alexandria today. A spokesperson with Dominion Energy says there was an underground cable fire which caused the outage, and crews worked all morning long to get the power restored. Dominion says about 1,900 customers were impacted. And DC police are investigating an early morning shooting on Marion Barry Avenue in Southeast. They say they were called to a nearby hospital after a man walked in for a gunshot wound. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Also new today, we're learning a 16-year-old boy was killed in Montgomery County. Police say he was hit by a car in Kensington. This happened off of University Boulevard near Kensington Heights Park. Police say the driver of the car stayed on scene, and they're currently investigating what caused that crash. Right now, no charges against the driver have been announced. And one man was found dead inside of an apartment in Montgomery County. That was Sunday morning. Police say they found him at around 7:45 on Montrose Road near Rockville Pike. Now, the circumstances surrounding his death remain unclear, but they're investigating, and they're investigating it as a homicide right now. No word on the victim's name at this hour. And this morning, D.C. business leaders and elected officials gathered for the Chamber of Commerce's annual economic summit. It's usually a feel-good moment, a chance to celebrate wins and share plans for the year ahead. But the economic reality in the district is more complicated. DC News Now's Haley Mylon has more.
Definitely a balancing act for the mayor and business leaders here in the district. You've got one of the biggest business headlines in decades, the Washington Commanders coming back to DC. But on the other side of the coin, you have a stagnant economic environment with a pullback in federal funding. A CBRE and Washington Business Journal report finds that federal spending in the region is down more than 20% year over year, the steepest drop since the 2014 budget cuts, triggering a slowdown in contracts, commercial real estate, and regional job growth.
It's a challenge.
The D.C. Chamber of Commerce says the district's share of regional job activity is recovering from the pandemic. Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie chairs the Committee on Business and Economic Development. He sees the chamber as a conduit for businesses and untapped workers in the city.
To make sure that we are supporting their efforts to continue to hire people, to operate their businesses.
McDuffie points to the recently approved RFK development project, a major boost for D.C.'s economic engine. Chamber Board Chairman Chico Horton hopes that businesses big and small can get a piece of that pie.
Hopefully a lot of our members will be contractors on that project.
And as we get a real pulse today from business and city leaders, we'll have coverage for you on DC News Now throughout the afternoon. In Northwest DC, I'm Haley Milon, DC News Now.
All right, Haley, thank you. Now the federal takeover of D.C. police is over, but President Trump keeping thousands of National Guard troops in the district. The Joint Task Force releasing the latest number showing just under 2,600 guards are in the district, and nearly 1,000 are in D.C. National Guard. And nearly 1,400 are from 8 other states. The task force says their current mission is beautification, including Haynes Point and in Rock Creek Park. So far, they've since cleared 1,000 bags of trash and spread 1,000 cubic yards of mulch and painted 270 feet of fencing. All right, now to Virginia. The top prosecutor in one of the country's most powerful U.S. attorney's office has resigned, and this is after pressure from the White House. Over the weekend, President Trump says he wanted U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Eric Siebert, out. And Siebert was under pressure to charge New York State's Attorney General Letitia James in mortgage fraud investigation, and she ultimately wasn't. The Trump administration wants to indict James, a Democrat who sued the president for fraud, and the administration efforts to oust the federal prosecutor shows another rolling back of norms separating the president from independent decisions at the Justice Department. And new today in Maryland, Governor Wes Moore is making $200 million available in direct energy rebates. It's continuing efforts to reduce energy costs in the state. The governor, along with state leaders, announced new energy rebates from Maryland's Strategic Energy Investment Fund. And Governor Moore says this comes at a time when families are stretched thin. And thousands of people gathered in Arizona yesterday to remember conservative activist Charlie Kirk. An assassin gunned down Kirk September 10th while he spoke to students at Utah Valley University. DC News Now's Kirsten Eskow shows us how Kirk's family and friends, including President Trump, remembered him.
Music and memories filled the air as thousands of mourners paid respects to 31-year-old Charlie Kirk. State Farm Stadium, which holds up to 73,000 attendees, was packed with people wearing red, white, and blue, as encouraged by Kirk's organization Turning Point USA. Among them, President Trump, Vice President Vance, and several members of his cabinet.
Tonight, we speak with Charlie and for Charlie louder than ever.
He just didn't have knowledge. He had wisdom, an uncanny amount of wisdom for a man as young as he was.
White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, who rarely speaks in public, also paid tribute.
Charlie just didn't help. He made the winning difference. I promise you that.
Looking out on a full stadium for Kirk's memorial, his friends and colleagues say the late father of 2 fulfilled his mission.
He sent these images of full stadiums of people, hoping for that to be a future Turning Point event. Well, Charlie, my friend, I'm happy to report we're standing in your vision. You did it, buddy. We love you.
Federal officials are providing top-level security for this memorial, similar to what we see at events like the Super Bowl. A law enforcement official tells us as many as 800 Secret Service agents are on the ground at the venue. In Washington, I'm Kristen Eskow.
All right, your time is now 12:09 in Loudoun County. The days of getting off with a warning are almost over. Drivers around portions of Leesburg will be fined if they speed in school zones, and cameras have been in place since August. 21st. They catch drivers who go at least 10 miles an hour over the speed limit when flashing lights tell you what that is. And neighbors say they're glad to see that change.
Because it is the school zones, I do understand why it would force people to keep that in mind to slow down for the betterment of the children.
And violators will pay a $100 fine. Cameras have also been placed at John Tolbert Elementary, Balls Bluff Elementary, and Loudoun County High Schools. And despite the changes to the Commanders' starting offense, the Burgundy and Gold ran away with Sunday's victory against the Raiders. They won the game 41-24, and starting quarterback Jaden Daniels was sidelined due to a knee injury, and quarterback Marcus Mariota filled in on offense. In a post-game interview, Mariota thanked his team for last night's performance.
First and foremost, just thankful and grateful for just an unbelievable group of guys. Belief is so powerful, and those guys from Monday were just, hey, you got this.
All right, congrats to the Commanders. So excited now, all eyes are on this Sunday's game against the Atlanta Falcons. All right, still to come on the news at noon, pushback from a D.C. neighborhood against new zoning proposals. Plus, the feds say customers have been getting ripped off for years. The bombshell latest lawsuit accusing Ticketmaster of jacking up prices for concert tickets. Plus, the DMV competitive cycling community remembering one of their own, why they say the loss of a friend has been such a tremendous loss. You're watching DC News Now. Stick around. We'll be right back with more.